Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you so much for tuning into She Conversations. I'm your co host, Tanya Myers, and
I'm Ashley Price, and so we're so excited to be here for another episode. We have so many exciting things that we're going to discuss today in the episode. So,
Mhm.
Tanya, I guess we can get started.
I know I'm so excited. Today we have an amazing conversation. We're going to be highlighting our She Lives project, as well as talking about the importance of generational conversations. So I don't know, did you want to introduce our guest or?
Yeah, so I guess in our intro episode, and I hope that everyone had a chance to watch it, we
Yeah.
did talk about one of our key initiatives, which was this She Lives project. And so this project was to engage cisgender women
Hmm.
living with or at risk for HIV in conversations, just to be able to share their lived experience. And so in doing so, the goal was to address stigma, break down isolation, and just create bonds. And so today we have two incredible women with us who participated in this transformative journey. So we would like to welcome Anna and Cierra.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us here, doing this podcast. So, we're podcast virgins. So, y'all might got more experience than us, but we're making it happen.
Exactly.
That's
We're
right.
so thankful that you accepted our invitation to be here. So thanks again. I guess for starters, did you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what drew you to the She Lives project?
Okay. Well, my name is Anna Folks, and I participated in the She Live project because outreach to me is important. Getting people to understand HIV is not a death sentence, that you can live and live well if you take care of yourself. And so that's what caught my interest. I'm an advocate, I'm a spokesperson, and so I wanted to just reach more people.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, you guys. My name is Cierra. Um, what drew me to She Lives project was Miss Anna at first. She the one who had came to me and had asked me about the She Live project, and I said, of course, because as well, I'm an advocate as well, and I just like to get my word out and be able to have others not judge me, but to know exactly what I went through and what I've been through.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Awesome. And you both have on very beautiful attire. If you don't mind, maybe sharing what it is that you're wearing.
We're both members of the 2020 Leading Women Society, which grew out of Sister Love in Atlanta. And so I was inducted in 2013. And a few years later, I nominated Cierra, and then she was inducted into the society. And this is a group of women all across the country, even in the Virgin Islands and different places, that are leaders in their community that have been living with HIV. A majority of them have been living with the virus for over 20 years. A few of us, like I was inducted with less than 20 years, but those that have 20 years or more are honored. So this is everyone is put given a scarf, given a stole. We call it a stole, and at the induction ceremony.
Beautiful. Very
Mm-hmm. That
nice.
is nice. That's
Very
so nice.
nice. So I know, Tanya, you mentioned intergenerational conversations. Do you want, for the viewers who don't know what that is, do you want to, I guess, jump into it and talk about what that is?
Or you can, Ashley. I know you've been working a lot with that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So, for us, when we think about intergenerational relationships, we think about, relationships that span across the generations, right? And so,
yes.
through these relationships, you grow close to one another by learning, by discussing, by just doing everything together. And so we thought it was important, considering that, Anna, you are older living with HIV. I mean, you're young, but you're older living with HIV. And Cierra, you're younger living with HIV. And so the first question that we want to pose to you both is, um, considering these differences in your lived experience, um, can you speak about the significance of intergenerational conversations in understanding HIV and sexual health? So, this can mean conversations within your family, like between grandparents, parents, children, or even within your social networks.
Well, I looked at Sierra like one of my grandchildren. All right, I was diagnosed HIV positive at the age of six, 69, I forget, 59. At 59. Sierra was born positive. So there was a big generational gap there. And we connected because I just call her my baby girl. And it's important to communicate with a younger person as well as an older person to understand their challenges. I have grandchildren. I had to talk to them to make sure that they understood they had to protect themselves. And so Sierra and I connected that way. We've stayed connected. I thought her story was awesome. You know, the challenges she had at such a young age. And I just wanted to be there for her. She needed a grandma. I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that correctly. Um, it's like I have, I was like the only one at that time diagnosed with HIV. Of course, my mother, who I contracted it from, she had HIV as well, but we didn't know. Everything was hush hush, or she may not have known for sure not, or she may have. So our age difference had made me more closer to Miss Anna, as well. Like she said, I'm her granddaughter, and I love that. I love that because I get to look up at a person who's thriving.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They know how I gotta or how I can do the same thing with living with HIV as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah, that's so inspirational.
yes.
Absolutely. The next question. So we know a lot of the project was based around storytelling, trying to like get you in a place to where you were able to share your stories with others as either an inspiration or, like Ashley said, as a way to kind of reduce HIV and the stigma associated with it. Um, can you talk a little bit about the storytelling process for you and how it may have helped you um, kind of tame your perspective or your narrative?
You want to go?
Yes. It was really like eye opening for me. And it really dig deep within myself to be able to tell you guys that story and to have a narrative about myself. Coming full thought with my perspective and not being judged or being ridiculed. Um, I think it was a great experience for me. It made me deep. I have a profession.
Okay.
I was able to. I know Miss Anna had told me to do this, but to write a letter to my mother,
Okay.
but I did not. I did not when you had first told me, and so I received another therapist,
Mm.
and my partner, who also had came with us to the She Lives project,
Mm-hmm.
she started seeing Aisha, and so and she was a part of She Lives Project as well. And so that's what made me uh get another therapist, someone more
Compatible.
yeah, compatible. Know exactly where I was coming from. Yes. Uh she 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 didn't see me herself, so she recommended me to someone else. And it's been great. And now once I had wrote that story, my story to my mother, it was painful. I ain't gonna. It was painful. I didn't want to do it at first, and I was crying as I was typing profusely. But to get all of that out felt so good. It really did. It felt so good to get all of that out and to actually not even though the person wasn't in front of me, my mother not in front of me, but I know exactly who I'm writing it to, and she can't talk back to me or whatever like that. But it's another perspective that I got from it. So thank you guys for that.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, storytelling was good for me. It was fun. I've always wanted to write, and that was the motivation I needed to start. I said in the beginning, because of my age, I got a lot of stories to tell.
You did say that.
And I tried to condense my stories, but in thinking about it, I said start at the beginning. And I did. I started with my birth because I think what happened to me as a baby and growing up as a young child shaped who I am today. The person that took care of me, my godmother, was very religious and taught me to have faith. And so it carried me through every trial, every tribulation I had to go through. I put it in God's hands. I said, okay, God knows what he's doing, and there's a good to this, and I'm not going to look for the bad. And so the story helped me to understand myself a little better, but it also clarified the path that I was on and how I got there.
Yeah, that's powerful. I
It
think,
was.
yeah.
When she said clarified, it was more of a like clarification for myself, as well as like eye opening to me. Thank you guys so much for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for participating and just like putting it all out there because I know, a lot of people don't have the courage to do that. Like, I think we talked about this during one of the workshops, but I was like, if somebody asked me to tell my story, like, how honest would I actually be? Because it's like, for me, I'm a private person, and so I would be so nervous to share everything that I've been through because I would be afraid about judgment and criticism. So just to see you two just openly, and then, not only through this project, but we see you at events all the time. Y'all are like local celebrities around here. So just to see you always like, out there just speaking about your stories, I think it's just amazing.
Well,
Really amazing.
one
Yeah.
thing I think we both learned is if you tell it about yourself, what is anyone else going to say?
Yeah.
Nobody can talk about you because you've already put it out there. If you've made it public, I mean, they can say, well, I don't see why she did that. But they can't really put you down for owning
Yeah.
what you did
Yeah.
and for owning whatever mess you think you've had. And I think a lot of stigma is built upon our own concepts. We're stigmatizing ourselves. People are ashamed of what they did. They're embarrassed by what they did. And therefore, they think others are going to talk about them, are going to put them down. But if you tell your story and you say, hey, I did it, I can't go back and change it, so I can live with it, you need to too.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I am not crying, I have dry eye.
Me
And
too.
one eye runs all the time.
Well, now you got tissues.
Yeah, but that's
so you're
okay.
good.
Yes.
So as the project progressed, in the second year, we introduced the photo voice part of it. So talk about your experience taking photos. I know it was a little challenging at first. We had those, and we mentioned this before, those beautiful cameras, but I
Mm-hmm.
know everybody kind of did their own
Right.
thing as far as gathering photos. So
Yeah.
talk about
It
your
was
experience.
challenging. I
It
am
really
not
was.
a photography person,
Not
and
all.
it may be because I've had vision problems, like I said, my eye runs all the time, so it's difficult. Um, just using the camera was difficult, but I was able to go back through all the photos I've had over time and choose some that were appropriate to my story. So, in that way, it was useful to look at the pictures and say, a picture of my godmother, and she was my rock,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to see my brother that we have just been besties since the day he was born.
Mhm.
So those things helped a lot, but using the camera wasn't any fun.
We
I
understand.
know.
I can ditto that. The camera using the camera was not fun, but it was an hurtful experience for me, only because the pictures that I had dug up or took, they were pictures of my mother,
Mm-hmm.
and I never had that one-on-one talk with my mother. So it was very painful. It
Mhm.
was hurtful, but it got me to realize that I needed someone to talk to about the pain that I was feeling
Mhm.
at that time. Uh, and so I I really reached out and got the help that I needed,
Mm-hmm.
and been seeing that person ever since.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys made that happen for me.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Um, I guess the most impactful part of the project for me, I guess, was seeing the connection amongst all of you. I guess
Mhm.
when you're sharing this story and you're being kind of vulnerable, um, just witnessing how you are all supportive of each other and helpful and offering resources and connecting outside of the project and the groups. I think that was most inspirational for me, and I think that's the was the most important part of the project. Just seeing, witnessing growth like right before our eyes.
Mhm.
So we
Yeah.
definitely noticed that. Um, the next question. So, how do you hope that your stories, as well as the images, will impact the community?
Well,
Go ahead.
for me, I tell everyone to get tested.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're young, if you're old, or in between. Because the way I found out, I don't want that to happen to nobody else
Mhm.
or no one else. So it's, it was I don't want to say I lost my train of thought.
That's
That's all
That's
okay.
right.
Take your
okay.
time.
Take your
Take your
time.
time.
Can you read the question again? I'm sorry.
Sure. How do you hope that your story or the images will impact the community?
Oh, okay, okay. All right, you bringing me back. You bringing me back.
Okay.
But I know I have a big impact
Mm-hmm.
because I do a lot of events
Mm-hmm.
and go to different conferences and everything like that and workshops and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. And so I want to be able to get my story out there as well as have young people like I said earlier, have somebody get tested and say that it's not a death sentence
Mhm.
any longer. We living, thriving, just as everyone else who doesn't have, HIV or AIDS. So just would like to say that you can live with this.
Mhm.
So for others that turn their lip up at us or something like that, or ask like crazy questions towards a person that does have it, or like myself, um just be courteous
Mhm.
to one
Mhm.
another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
important.
I
Mhm.
think the first thing Sierra said was important. Get tested.
Mhm.
Getting everyone tested. I'm all for just testing people. They draw your blood for everything else. Just take a few drops
Mhm.
and test for HIV. If you're sexually active, you could be at risk. And as in Sierra's case, if you're not sexually active, you could be at risk. Had she not had the stroke, she may not have found out
Mm.
for many more years, you know. So that was one very important portion. And the other one is that I guess sharing not only helps us, but it helps others to see that whatever they're going through,
Mhm.
it can't be that bad, you know. I felt bad because I felt I should have known better. I should have insisted on practicing safer sex. But I accepted that I didn't, and I accepted responsibility.
Mhm.
Sierra had no choice
Mm.
in the matter, but she accepted what was given to her.
Mm.
Mhm.
She accepted this is my load, this is what I have to do, this is how I will have to live. And so when you realize that people are
Mhm.
living well and accepting whatever burden they have, whatever you're dealing with
Mhm.
can't be half as bad as some of the stories we've heard,
Mhm.
Mhm.
you know. And so maybe it encourages others to
Mhm.
open up, to realize that what they think is horrible, it's not. What
Right.
they think is tragic, it's not.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And they can live a good life and probably a happier, healthier life by talking to somebody about it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's definitely important, and I'm glad that you share that. And so, because the first She Lives project we thought was so impactful and so successful, that's what led us to do that second cohort that we did with the um, young women between the ages of 16 and
25.
24,
20.
25.
Mhm.
Because we saw, what you guys did. I'm sorry, what you ladies did. I corrected myself, Anna. Got it, noted forever. And so that's why we did the second cohort, and hopefully this is something that as an organization we can continue to do because I
Mhm.
think it's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Definitely.
And so as we, believe it or not, wrap up, what final message would you like to share with our listeners, especially for people who may be going through something similar? And I know you already touched on it a little bit, but is there anything else you want to share?
Talk to somebody.
Mhm.
It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a minister, it could be a doctor, it could be a therapist. But talk to somebody. Talking to yourself is not always good.
Mhm.
You can do that, but you need to bounce it out of you on someone else. Get their impact. Find somebody that's going through what you've been through
Mhm.
and talk to them
Mm-hmm.
because they can encourage you. They can let you know that it is not as bad as you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a spiritual person.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe in prayer. Prayer works, and sometimes what you got to do is just ask God to help you,
Mm-hmm.
ask God to guide you, if nothing else. But look in the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
love yourself, take care of yourself. Know that if you're doing something that's harmful to you, admit it and stop it.
Mhm.
A lot of times we do things that are harmful to us, but we don't want to accept or acknowledge that we are.
Mhm.
And so acknowledging what you're doing that is not good helps you to overcome it. So I would say, get tested, know yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and live a good, happy life.
Yes, amen to
A
that.
good, happy,
Absolutely.
healthy life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Healthy life,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But I would say the same thing as Miss Anna about knowing who you are.
Hmm.
Know who you are first, so you will be able to go out there and talk to someone. So you will be able to go out there and get a hug from someone.
Mm-hmm.
So you will be able to go out there and just get, you know, embrace someone. It's different for me when I say go out there and embrace or get a hug from someone, because that means now I am here. I want to feel that I'm here and take my medicine as required, as prescribed. And that's for anyone that's going through this.
Mm-hmm.
Always take your medicine, and you may become more than what you want to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was a word.
Hmm.
That was a word.
It was. So I think that's all the questions we have
Mm-hmm.
for this afternoon. We want to thank you, ladies, so much. Not only for just participating in this podcast, but participating in the project, for trusting us with your stories, being transparent, um, just sharing your lived experience. And like Ashley said, we know that you are no strangers in the community with being an activist and kind of showcasing your life and trying to help somebody else. So we're just so thankful that you participated in our project, and we thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And
It was a pleasure.
yes,
Hmm.
it really was.
Always a pleasure to hang out with you too. So hopefully we'll be able to do more together in the future. So we definitely will definitely reach out. And so that is the end of today's episode. And so please, please subscribe, please like, please follow. Thank you.
Thank you.